Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss isobaric process. From last two lectures, we are discussing the various type of processes taking place in the thermodynamics in the different conditions. In the first lecture, we discussed the reversible process and irreversible process. In the last lecture, we discussed isothermal process in which the temperature remains constant. Now we are going to discuss here in this lecture isobaric process. Now what is the isobaric process? Let's start this isobaric process. The process in which pressure remains constant throughout the thermodynamic change. We know thermodynamic state of the system can change from initial state to the final state, but if during this change, during this thermodynamic change, if the pressure remains constant, such type of process is called as the isobaric process. So what is isobaric process? Isobaric process is a process for which pressure remains constant. It means the pressure of the initial state, pressure of the final state, and pressure of the intermediate state remains constant. It does not change. Okay, so here we can write this delta P is equal to 0. Now, as this change takes place at a pressure delta P is equal to 0, what is the example of this isobaric process? The example is boiling of water. The boiling of water at constant pressure is called as it is the example of this isobaric process, because when the boiling water is open to the atmosphere exert a constant pressure. When such type of process, boiling of the water, takes place, so such type of process in which the pressure remains constant, so such process is the boiling of water, which is nothing but the example of isobaric process. Now if we draw a pressure and volume diagram, pressure and volume indicator of the isobaric process, it is nothing but a line parallel to the volume axis. So if we draw a diagram, PV diagram, between this is pressure and this is volume. So the graph or the PV diagram is like this. This is the initial state and this is the final state, represented by point A and point B respectively. In this case, this line, this curve is parallel to the volume axis. It means the volume changes but the pressure remains constant. So for a isobaric process, a PV diagram can be represented like this, in which the line or the graph is parallel to the volume axis. Now such type of graph is also called as a isobar. In the last lecture we defined a same graph for isothermal process, which is called as a isothermal. In this case the pressure remains constant, it is called as isobaric process, and this pressure if remains constant, the graph is called as the isobar. So isobar means the graph in which the pressure is constant but the volume changes. So it is called as the isobar. Okay, now As we know, for ideal gas, this PV is equal to nRT. We know this is the equation for the ideal gas, in which this is pressure, this is volume, this is the number of moles, this is the gas constant, and this is the absolute temperature. During isobaric process, the pressure throughout the process remains constant, throughout the change remains constant. So here this pressure is constant, this N and R are constant. Therefore we can say that this volume and the temperature are going to change during a isobaric process. So suppose Vi and Ti, they are the initial state variables of thermodynamic system, and Vf and Tf, this is the final state variables So Vi changes to Vf and Ti changes to Tf, means temperature doesn't remain constant as well as volume doesn't remain constant. So now we know for ideal gas equation PV is equal to nRT. So we can write this equation for the initial state as well as the final state. So we can write here this P Vi is equal to nR Ti, and for the final state we can write P Vf is equal to nRTf. So if we subtract this equation from this equation, we can write here this P Vf minus Vi is equal to nRTf minus Pi. So what is the P multiplied by Vf minus Vi? It is equal to nR in bracket Tf minus Ti. So now we know that work done W is equal to P multiplied by dV. What is dV? dV is nothing but the change in the volume, and here we can write this pressure change in the volume is equal to Vf minus Vi. But we derive P into Vf minus Vi is equal to this. So we can write here this nRTf minus Pi. So this is our equation number 1. Now as the temperature of the isomeric system is not remaining constant, the internal energy of the system also changes. So what is the change in the internal energy? The change in the internal energy delta U is equal to n CV multiplied by delta T. What is delta T? Delta T is nothing but the change in the temperature during the process, during the change. So we can write here n this CV multiplied by Tf minus Ti, because the temperature changes from Ti to Tf. So the Tf minus Ti is nothing but a change in the temperature during the isobaric process. This is the delta U. This is our equation number 2. Now we know, according to the thermodynamics first law, the amount of heat supplied U is equal to delta U plus W. So here we can write delta U is equal to nR Tf minus Ti plus W is nR, sorry, this is NCV Tf minus Ti plus nR Tf minus Ti. So if we solve this equation, so here this Q is equal to, here this n multiplied by Tf minus Ti, n multiplied by Tf minus Ti, we can take common, so this is n Tf minus Ti in bracket, this is Cv, sorry, this is Cv plus R, which is equal to n Cp multiplied by Tf minus Ti. Why? Because we know Cp minus Cv is equal to R, therefore this Cp is equal to Cv plus. So this is the equation for the heat transfer during the isobaric process. And on which factor this depend upon? This depend upon the change in the temperature as well as the Cp. What is Cp? Cp is the specific heat at constant pressure. That is isobaric process. So in this way we derive this relation between the heat supplied during the isobaric process and the change in the temperature. So in this case, if we summarize all these topics for the isobaric process, we come across some important, that is delta P is equal to 0. We know there is no change in pressure during the isobaric process, so delta P is equal to 0. What is the second important case? That is delta T is not equal to 0. T get changes, so this delta T is not equal to 0. Work done, this work done also not equal to 0 because pressure remains constant but the volume get changes, and if the volume changes, its work done is not equal to 0. So in this case we can also write this Q is equal to W plus delta U, where this delta U is nothing but the change in the internal energy, and as the temperature is not equal to 0, its internal energy is not also equal to 0. So from the isobaric process we can conclude that in this case this delta U change in the internal energy, this work done and Q, these are not equal to 0. They either equal to positive value or they either have a negative value, depend upon the type of process, that is it is expanding or it is compressing. If it is compressing, the work done is equal to what? The work done is always negative, and when it is expanding it is a positive. So in this way we discuss about the isobaric process. In the next lecture we are going to discuss the isochoric process, in which volume of the system, volume of the thermodynamic system remains constant. So here we are going to stop now. Have a good day. Bye.